Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and the beacons have been lit and the modders have finally awoken. So as it stands at the time of recording this video, the modders have started implementing their mods into Total War Warhammer, and while we don't have all the asset kits just yet, some modders have been able to start bringing in some stuff like overhauls and hell, even some very important quality of life mods. For example, the ones I'm going to talk to you about in this video. It's a rather short video, but these are mods I know that you guys will appreciate very, very heavily. So let's not waste any more time and jump right in. This first mod is called Less Red, More Art UI mod, which is, well, what you can expect here. The idea is to make the UI a bit more stylized when you're playing as separate races or factions, just to have a little bit more of not seeing the same thing over and over, which, yes, Creative Assembly will probably change around when they start doing their own updates to Immortal Empires, but it's nice to have something to be able to do that now. So, as you can see, I'm playing as a Lizardman, and when you go in your Technology tab, hell, even your Building tabs, you just have different images. This is the same thing for pretty much anyone that you play, obviously different images that fit with their lore, and it's just nice because it gives you something to look at when you're doing the usual mundane stuff like going through the tech tree or just picking out your buildings. It's an area of the game that you're going to be doing a lot, so why not just have like a pretty image in the background? I know this might not be the most exciting for some, but to me it just makes all the difference. It's just quality of life feature, isn't it? This next mod is called Button Respec, and it's exactly what it used to do in Warhammer 2. You see, I'm playing as Karl Franz here, and I had to get rid of Festus because of the Nurgle corruption, and we know that that's the biggest issue there. The thing is that I was using a lot of the skill points in the blue line, you know, just extra control, reduction to corruption around the area, just to make sure that, you know, Festus doesn't cause too many problems after he's long gone. And after that's done, really, I don't want that with Franz. It's just Franz was my only character at the beginning of a campaign, so yeah, I have to get rid of those skills. It's a bit of a waste now. So yeah, you can just decide to respec. It'll cost about 1,000. You can only do it once per character, but once is all you really need. It's the case of, yeah, I want to just tier my character in a different way, and there's probably other mods which allow it for multiple times, but I kind of like the idea of one, because at the beginning of your campaign you'll focus usually on economy, and then you can start focusing on everything else. That depends on the player though. Now before we jump into the last mod, I'm going to talk about this smaller mod which is going to be quite useful for a lot of the newer players who haven't been playing Warhammer 3 since it launched. This is Character Unlocker, and what it does is you start a campaign. Sometimes you might have to end a turn or two, but what it does is it will give you a bunch of achievements for Warhammer 3, which will give you access to Be'lakor. I think he was just for multiplayer in that sense. I'm not 100% too sure if you need to unlock him for Immortal Empires, but also Boris Ursus, and that is for campaign. If you don't want to do a campaign with Katerin or Konstantin to be able to unlock Boris Ursus, or you just want to play as Boris, yeah, use this, it'll open up the achievements and then you're done. And finally, we have a much requested and very, very popular mod from Warhammer 2 known as Recruit Defeated Legendary Lords. Yep, it's back and it's better than ever. So, as it starts right now, it's still in its beta form, keep that in mind, but it works exactly like Warhammer 2, and I'll explain it just in case you don't play Warhammer 2, you've never played it, or you've never used this mod. Essentially, when a faction gets destroyed of the same race as you, usually culture in the game files, you'll get a little pop-up on the next turn which will tell you that you can either accept the refugees, which means that you get access to any legendary characters that they may have access to. You can reject them and they'll go to another minor faction. You can kill them off and have them gone permanently, or you can just decide to wait 25 turns. So this is with Tehenwin, where I can then decide, yeah, I want Tehenwin because I've just beaten him down, because Confederations right now are a little bit annoying. They're not in the state that they should be, so yeah, you get access to Tehenwin. He's rank 4 by the time that I destroyed him, and this was pretty early on because I just went straight down for him to get rid of a possible issue. And yeah, he'll be wounded for a few turns, which isn't too much of an issue. But this works with every single legendary lord and even minor factions too. So if you like playing Pokemon and want to catch them all, this is probably the best way to go, seeing as Confederations are a bit of an issue and loads of legendary lords have been moved to around the world. Sometimes you won't be able to get there in time before they get destroyed, so this is very beneficial to you. There is one thing that you do have to notice. There is a few bugs as far as I've seen, not with the legendary characters, thankfully, but with minor characters, like for example, if a faction has a Slann Mage Priest, I've not been able to re-recruit that Slann Mage Priest. But I guess, you know, these things happen. It's just because that's a character that you need to spawn in through a mechanic. But as you can tell, the character spawns in with the levels that it was killed. It will already have the skill points attached, so you might want to have the reset just in case it's later campaign and you know how the AI gets really strange things. And there's a benefit here, as we are aware that the quest system for getting special items for Legendary Lords has been changed. You don't have to do this, do a rite, do this, do that, which some of the Lizardmen characters need to do a rites beforehand that you might not have access to. So that's gone. So yeah, you'll still be able to get all the special items. You don't even have to wait. So I figured that that would be something quite important for you guys to know because, yeah, it was a little frustrating in Warhammer 2, wasn't it? But yeah, all these mods can be found in the description below, so you can check them all out if you want. I would highly recommend it. Yeah, there's stuff that we're going to see happen officially by Creative Assembly in the future. They've said they want to figure out how to do better confederations and even reset skill points. But until then, this is the great thing. We've got modders who are quite active in the community. Whilst we're waiting for Creative Assembly to make their own version, we've got some that were created by the community. But with that being said, are there any quality of life mods that you think should be mentioned in future videos, showcased to let the fan base know? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, your suggestions, and yeah, let's start a bit of a discussion.